Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea with Brittany Lee. We have such an awesome time planned for you guys today. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds, let everybody get logged on. And while you are, I'm going to just kind of introduce our guest for today. I am really excited. I love the webinars where we're actually talking to fellow rental managers. I mean, not fellow to me, but fellow to you, rental managers. I love those webinars. I feel like they're the most helpful, the most awesome webinars that we do because you guys can actually interact with another rental manager who knows your struggles, knows the things that you're going through directly. And I feel like it just makes such a difference. So I want to thank my guest today, Leslie Painter, for being on here with me. Welcome to the show, Leslie. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Brittany. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
So before we get right down to business, I have a couple of special little announcements that I wanted to make. Well, actually one really big one. We are doing another VRM University Live, and we're doing it in Wilmington. Yay! I cannot wait. I'm so excited. We had record attendance at the last one. And guys, I'm pre-announcing this on Tea with Brittany Lee because I know that the tickets are going to sell out so fast. This webinar is not like the others. No, it's not a webinar. It's a live seminar. But this live seminar is not like the others. And let me tell you why. We are going to be sitting down and doing actual one-on-one training with you and your team, whoever you bring in your system, and we are going to help you solve your problems right there at the table. So you are literally going to get to talk to myself, and you're going to get to talk to Tracy, and I know Connie's going to be there, Michael, Pete's going to make an appearance, which is magical altogether. So you're going to have a whole team of people, and we're going to be sitting down and talking to you about what's in your system, giving you click by click, step by step tutorials on how to use all the features in the VRM system. Well, not all of them because we have like 50,000 of them, but we're going to go through some of the major ones from this year. I'm pretty sure that document management and Airbnb click-by-click integration steps are going to be on the agenda, but I haven't gotten the official agenda yet, so I can't speak too far out of turn. So I want you guys to know that if you get an email in your inbox next week from me, it is extremely important that if you want to go to VRM University Live on April the 26th in Wilmington, North Carolina, that you sign up immediately. Because last time we did this in December with Amy Highnote, we sold out in 24 hours. It was so crazy. So then we went ahead and like made more seats, and then we sold out of those seats in 24 hours. So if you want to go, make sure you watch your inbox, and bring your team. Don't just bring the management, bring your team, people that need to learn the system, because we are going to be there to give you live one-on-one help. So anyway, be looking for that next week. That's going to be coming out. You can register online, and I'll be sending you the links and all of the information as soon as registration is live. So that's all about that. And now we're going to go ahead and talk to Leslie. And I just want to say, guys, Leslie and I have worked together for a number of years. When she was an owner of her last company, I did her social marketing for her, and she was one of the ones that gave me my big break in social marketing. She trusted me in the early days, and she's just wonderful. She has so much great advice, and I really want you guys to just pay attention. She is going to be amazing today. So welcome, Leslie. I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for making time for this.
Thanks, Brittany, and don't believe a word Brittany has said about me. All
Whatever.
lies.
I love her to pieces. She's a cuddly teddy bear. Don't let anyone tell you any different. So Leslie, let's just start. I want you to kind of talk about your history as a rental manager in the industry, and start like at the very beginning, like the very beginning.
The very beginning?
Yeah, the very beginning.
Okay, in the very beginning, I was 6 years old sitting on the floor of my dad's office.
I love it.
stuffing rental brochures. The pay back then was baby dolls. I
Yeah.
think pay was better back then than it is now. Or I appreciated it more.
I mean, I won't argue if someone wants to pay me in baby dolls, you know.
So from there, I graduated to cleaning cottages at 9 because I begged. Yeah, that was dumb. I continued cleaning, gosh, till I was 15. But I started doing double entry escrow accounting for my dad on those big old ledger sheets
Wow.
at 13 and taking reservations around the same time, 12, 13 years old, on the old boards, the old rental boards that we had.
That's amazing.
By 15, I got promoted to kind of housekeeping manager.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
exciting. Um, and from there, um, just doing everything in the office when I
So,
came home from college and stuff.
so for you, rental management really is the family business. It's like you've been around it for your whole life. You've watched the industry change. You've watched things grow and things fall away. And that's amazing. And so tell me a little bit about the rental company that you owned that was, yeah, just tell me about that.
well, Colony Realty in Cape Hatteras was founded by my uncle in 1962. My dad bought it from him in 1970. He sold it to my brother in 1989, and my husband and I bought my brother out in 99.
Wow.
Sold the vacation rentals off in 2014 because I was sick and tired of yesing owners.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally understandable. So,
After a couple year break, I got sucked back into it because I missed guest owners. Oh,
that's awesome. So, who are you with now?
now I'm with Better Beach Rentals in Oak Island, North Carolina. It is a family owned company.
That's awesome.
She grew faster than her policies and procedures. And since I already had all of those in place previously, I knew how to implement them. So I'm the general manager here. And it's a project. We're growing, we're learning, we're undoing a lot of bad habits, and we're getting better.
Good. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I wanted you to kind of talk about today some things that we can do and that the other rental managers can do to improve their guest relationships. When, I hear people in the industry constantly talk about this, elusive guest relationship, and they're talking about, whatever suits their product at the time, whatever suits their sales, their snake oil or their sales method or whatever, and I've heard a lot of people say things, and honestly, when to me, and this may be wrong, and so I really want you to correct me if I am wrong, but to me, guest relationships really are just that. They're relationships with the people that rent with you on a larger scale. And so how do you improve on that when you grow and when you become a larger company? How do you keep that personal connection with your guest?
That is the challenge, and that's what I've been implementing here at Better Beach, because they grew out of what they did,
Yeah.
and it didn't work anymore. And and really, to me, all a homeowner wants is for you to take care of their house, keep it clean and in good shape, and
Yeah.
put guests in it. All
Yep.
the guests want is a house that's in good shape and is clean. And if
Yeah.
you do those things, everybody's happy. It's those things.
It's so simple, yet
It's so
so
simple.
complicated.
It's so simple, and it's so impossible.
Yes,
No,
absolutely.
and the bigger you get, the more difficult it becomes because now you've got more people and getting everybody to follow all of the same policies and breaking old bad habits.
Yeah.
is the tough part. So we've spent all winter doing inspections on two different levels. We did maintenance inspections and we did the pretties inspection.
Yes. Yeah.
um, you know, what's your couch look like? Does it just really want to sit on? And owners take offense to some of that.
Yeah.
The other owners jump right on it and go, "Oh my God, I never really looked at my couch." And you're right, it's disgusting. I'm throwing it away.
Yeah.
Others will stomp their feet and go, "Well, it's your fault."
Mm.
Well,
Oh,
you're
I'm sorry.
15 years old. So we've spent all winter working on getting the houses in good repair and clean. We're still doing the deep cleans and the carpet cleans, and we'll have everything ready for Memorial Day.
That's awesome.
Um, and hopefully this season will be fantastic compared to last season. Because last season we had a lot of complaints.
I'm
And,
sure it's
and
going to
there
be
were days that all you could say was, "You're right."
great. I'm sorry.
You're right. I'm
That's
sorry.
awesome. So
So,
I have a question for you. How do you um how do you broach that conversation with your owners when they're offended and they're frustrated about their couch being worn out and they have to replace it? How do you convince them that this is a worthwhile investment for them?
well, sometimes you will talk till you're blue in the face and you will have a dirty couch.
Yeah.
Other times we can tell them, "Look, if you don't replace your couch, all we're going to have is complaints all summer that the
Mm-hmm.
couch is dirty. These guests are not going to rebook your house for next year
Yeah.
because they don't want to come to a worn out house. They
No.
want to come to a house that makes them feel happy. If
Yes.
they're at the beach, they want to feel happy.
Yeah.
If they're not happy, they're not going to treat your house nice. So you're going to have more damage, which nobody wants. And they're not going to come back. The people who come back year after year to your home treat it like their home.
Yes.
And so that's our goal is
Yeah.
we want every guest that walks out of here, if they want to come back to the beach next year, we want them to rent the same house that
Yeah.
they stayed in this year.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that if it's not in good repair. There's only
That's so
so
true.
much we can do to keep it surface clean. If it's worn out, I can't fix that. You're gonna
Absolutely.
have to.
So, what are some of the things that you've seen other rental companies doing that they're doing wrong with OTAs, which is online travel agencies, for those of you that don't know? I had to learn that acronym just this year. So, honestly, I mean, there's all this talk of like OTAs in the industry, and nobody actually explains like what is an OTA. That would be somebody who acts as a middleman between you and your guest. Anybody that's in between your reservation and your guest, that's the person you want to cut out of it, obviously. So what are some of the things that you're seeing companies do incorrectly that they're not protecting themselves?
Not really sure that there's any incorrect way of using OTAs. Um, Better Beach uses them completely different than I did at Colony Realty. Um, is that right or wrong? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the way we do it here, and we use OTAs to the max.
Mm-hmm.
We try to get the message out to the guests that they'll actually save money to
Yeah.
book direct. They get really mad when we send them a confirmation and it's for hundreds of dollars less than what
Yeah.
they paid one of the OTAs.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it. They chose to book it through HomeAway or Airbnb. And I
Mm-hmm.
wish they hadn't, but if they had just looked and saw that it was Better Beach Rentals and called us first, then they wouldn't have had to pay $300, $500 extra, and everybody would have been happy. It's a weird experience, but sometimes they just are so convinced that they are getting
Yeah.
that's the deal by using an OTA, that they can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times that is the OTA's strategy in marketing, is that they'll tell the guest, "Oh, we're the best deal around." And the guest is convinced that they are, and they're not realizing that, it pays to have a middleman. You literally pay to have a middleman, and they're not doing anything for you. So what are some of the strategies for getting the word out that you guys use, and what are some overlooked marketing strategies that you feel like should be paid more attention to?
The overlooked mar- marketing strategies that we were overlooking
Yeah.
was using social media. Um, and I'm going to give VRM a plug here and say we've gone full tilt with VRM marketing, and Brittany and Christopher and Tracy are doing a fabulous job with the social media, the blogs, the email blast of getting the message out to people. We did one I think we did it in February, the booking direct rather than through an OTA. And we've seen some response to that where people who booked probably last year using an OTA came back this year and booked direct.
That's awesome. That
Just
is exactly what you want, for sure. That's amazing. So, what are some basic things that you can do to reduce your OTA dependency? Because I know that that's been a problem for a lot of people. Is they're like, man, I'm caught. I'm dependent on Home Away for X number of bookings. So, what are some things that you suggest as a veteran rental manager?
this is one of those where I'm going to go, um, the marketing strategy here at Better Beach is to use the OTAs.
Yeah.
Um, we we use the OTAs. We fill the houses. Yeah, we pay a fortune in marketing, but
Mhm.
we keep adding more and more and more homes because we are getting the rentals where the guys down the streets who are reluctant to use the OTAs are not getting the rentals.
Right. So my question is, do you guys do non-digital marketing? I know that VRM, we handle a lot of your digital marketing, but do you guys do any non-digital?
No, we are 100% online. We do
Wow.
no paper advertising at all anymore.
That's amazing. I know a lot of people hold on to that, paper advertising in a lot of different ways. And it just, to me, seems like it's a huge expense and you don't really have a trackable way to make sure that you're getting back the return. Now, that being said, any of you guys that are on here that might be using non-digital forms of marketing like rack cards or, brochures or anything like that, put that in the chat or the Q&A section down there in Zoom, because I would love to hear about that and if it's working for you. Or if you have any questions for Leslie, I just want to plug that a little bit. If you guys have questions that you want me to ask, now I'm asking to the best of my ability, but you guys might have some more specific questions for Leslie that she'll be able to address. And I just want to also mention, Leslie is actually, we hired her at VRM for a certain period of time because she really understands the VRM system, like with intimate knowledge about most of the features that you guys use. So if you have questions about how VRM can help you specifically in better ways, then ask those questions too. So ask all your questions. So my next question on here was, what are some practical ways? Oh, that's so funny. I wasn't even reading ahead, I promise. But what are some practical ways that you can use VRM to help track your guest relationships? And what are some things that you've used VRM to do that may be a little bit unique?
We've started using the lead tracker to track our guests. We've had some change in staff just in the last month or so, so I've got a little hiccup there with lead tracker. Basically, I don't have anybody that knows how to use it right now.
That's okay. Come to VRM until University Live. We'll help you out over there.
I got the training session planned. Um, and we are using VRM marketing to do all the stuff that I did not have time to do. And we debated whether or not we had an in-house person for a while, and in the end, they always want guidance. They always quit. Um,
Hard. Marketing is hard.
and yeah, by hiring somebody in house, it took my time to go train them on what I wanted them to do. By hiring VRM to do it, VRM already knows what to do because they're dealing with 100 companies.
Mm-hmm.
They know the market. You guys already have it all set up, so we tossed our marketing money at you guys to run all our social media pages, um, the blog,
Yeah.
the website. We changed the website,
The
um,
email marketing.
the email marketing.
Yeah.
What else do you
All
do,
that
Phil?
stuff. All of it.
Oh,
Everything, all the things. Reputation management was another big one
that's
for
right.
you guys. Why don't you talk about that for a minute? Because I know
You
that
can talk about that because you know what you do and I don't.
well, yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I know that one of the largest concerns when you guys came to us was that you were struggling to get good reviews and that you had really awful reviews on Google because let's face it, guests are a little bit crazy sometimes and they go on there and that like if they're upset or they're frustrated about something, those are the people that are going to go and they're going to leave a review much more often than the ones that are happy. So for us, one of our missions was to help with the review system at Better Beach for getting better reviews. So how has that worked out for you guys?
You know, Saad has been doing that since the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's sent us a few things where we had some things that we needed to respond to. It's been kind of quiet over the winter,
Yeah,
so he's hopefully he won't have a whole lot to deal with because of the things that we've been working with. What he's focusing on is getting positive reviews, reaching out to the guests, trying to get them to post stuff of of how great their vacation was, rather than just chasing the negatives.
that's really good. And I just want to mention, I got a comment from Christina at Four Seasons. Hey, Christina, thanks for coming on. And she said that they still do rack cards as non-digital forms of marketing over there. And she said it helps with the chamber and with foot traffic. But she said she's definitely seeing the need for digital, non-digital marketing just shrinking over the years. So that's pretty much on track with what we were saying. So thanks for putting that in, Christina. I appreciate it. Um, so my next topic that I wanted to kind of talk about was, you know, what are some, you talked about training a little bit and how difficult that is for you. And, when you get somebody new, you have to actually take that time to train them. So what are some of the ways and what are some of the things that you've been training people on that you've kind of developed a little bit of a system for? Do you have any thoughts or ideas about streamlining that process of training? Because I know with busy season coming, a lot of people are trying to expand the staff a little bit to kind of help out, any helpful thoughts there?
Well, I get the staff to train the new staff.
Yeah.
I might pull them aside and discuss the vacation rental agreement with them from a legal standpoint, since I'm the one with the license.
Mm-hmm.
I try to break them down into groups of 2 to 3 rather than a larger group, so that we can get more banter back and forth and what ifs and answer their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I break it down into pieces. So we'll discuss how to make a reservation,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have them watch the videos on VRM for the lead tracker, and then we discuss lead tracker. I'll have them watch the videos for Readiness Manager, and then we'll discuss how Readiness Manager works and the policies and procedures we've put in place. So we do it piecemeal so that we're not overwhelming them all on the first day of, oh my goodness, what are we doing? I've got backups set up so that if the new person doesn't know how to deal with Readiness Manager yet, somebody is checking the reservations that were made yesterday and doing that piece for them until we get them trained on it.
Yeah, and I just want to ask, how has Readiness Manager changed the way that you do things at your company? You know, with that becoming part of the VRM system, I know for a long time that was a very asked for feature. Has it been helpful? You know, is that something that...
It has been helpful. Getting the housekeepers to buy into it
Mhm.
was a lot of lip service at first, but it's really been helpful for them to be able to take pictures and send in emails for broken or needed items in the homes.
Mhm.
So tracking our work orders has been much easier. We're still struggling a bit with getting everybody to market complete.
Yeah.
But my housekeeping manager hasn't cried once since we implemented it.
Oh, that's an improvement. We don't like when people cry. That's not nice. That's really good. So, my next question would be then, you know, why is it so important? I know the answer for me and from what I see in the industry, but I want to hear your perspective on why it's so important that we really make sure that our internal process works to make sure that we're connecting with the guests better, so that we're talking to the guests more, and so that we're delighting them when they come through the door. So what are your thoughts on that?
You know, using the communication available within VRM
Mhm.
in Welcome Home, just emailing the guest the confirmation. I mean, and attaching the VRA to it. It's just so simple to constantly communicate with them, put notes in the reservation so that the next person can see what everybody else has to say about this guest, including careful, they're mean.
Yeah,
Um, uh,
which happens from time to
it
time,
happens from time to time. Bridezilla. Um,
right?
ooh, it's almost Bridezilla season. Um,
Yay!
but using the communication available within VRM just stops all the questions. We're in the process right now of converting to Kava logs. So I'm setting up welcome home messages to tell the guest how to use the locks, and we'll send out their codes to them, and they don't even have to come to the office if they don't want
That's great. So if they're
to.
not coming to the office, do you have any strategies or plans for making sure that you still get that personal connection with them beyond, you know, beyond their stay, so that they want to come book with you again?
There's welcome home messages that go out to them when they check in.
That's
Um, there's a message that goes out to them midweek to don't forget to rebook for next year. Here's your checkout procedures, and then we thank them at the end of their stay and tell them how to put the *0* in there so we know they've left.
Yes, exactly. And you know, I just want to mention that Welcome Home, we do have a complete version of it, which includes text messaging, which I don't know if you guys have the
We
complete
do.
or okay. So do you use that text messaging
The,
feature at all?
te- the text messages only go out on the day of check-in.
Okay.
Um, there'll be two. There'll be one with their code in it, and there's one when readiness manager is complete for the day, that their house is complete and ready for occupancy.
That's great.
And it'll tell them if it's before check-in time, they'll have to get an early check-in code.
Okay, awesome. So I just want everyone to know that there is actually Welcome Home with the emails and everything. If you don't need the text messaging features, Welcome Home Lite is free and it's part of your VRM software. So if you don't know how to use that right now, we actually have some support documentation on how to use it. Lauren has done a lot of training on it, and I actually did a couple of Tea with Brittany Lees on how to set it up and how to use it. One thing that I've always said for my clients that do marketing, and they want to talk about maybe getting better guest reviews and things like that, is to actually set up what I call a quote unquote drip campaign. Basically, these emails drip out to the guests over a certain period of time after their stay. And it's asking like, how was everything? Leave us a review on Google, and you can talk to them and make sure that they're leaving you a review, and there are ways. Sod is magical and he's a unicorn, and I don't know how he does it, but he sends separate review stuff, that says basically, if your stay was less than a 5-star rating, please let us know and click here. And so it sends a message back to you instead of them leaving a negative message on your social media or someplace else to kind of blow things up, because that happens from time to time. So basically, I just want to throw that out there that if you're not using Welcome Home, you have that available for free. And if you may be using some other tool that's more expensive that you can actually get rid of and start using Welcome Home, and it would make your process so much easier and cheaper in the long run. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that you guys have access to that completely free through the VRM system. If you need help with that, help@vrmgr.com. So Leslie, my last question for you today, and I just want to say thank you again so much for coming on, but my last question today is, what are some ways that we can help promote the rental industry as a whole? So as rental managers, how can we raise awareness for vacation rentals and for booking direct?
That's the $1 million question.
Right? I do it big. When I do it big.
I think we raise awareness by doing it right and being professional.
Yeah.
With national TV going out there in the springtime and telling people how to complain and get discounts, and Expedia spending a fortune to try to grab their dollar in it. The only way that we can steal those dollars back is by doing it right the first time. If we put the guest in a well cared for, clean home, we put smiles on their faces when we're talking to them, we address any issues that they have while they're here, and we do it right the first time, then they're going to be happy and they're going to come back. If we're grumpy about it, they're going to go someplace else, or they're going to go to the OTAs to try to find something that's not dealing with a property management company.
That's really good. That's such good advice, Leslie. I think it's, so imperative that we make sure that, I know a lot of you are maybe managers or owners, and it's really important that you impress on your staff how important guest communication and guest service really is when you're in this kind of industry, because you're the front lines of the rental management industry. And so, if you ever need any help with that or anything like that, or if you want to see a Tea with Brittany Lee where I talk about, how to improve guest services, I'm happy to do anything you guys want to do. But really just want to make sure these times are really helpful for you guys and that you learn the things that you need to learn and that you're getting helped in the way that you need to get helped. So I just want to say thank you again so much, Leslie, for joining me. I know that, you know, we had to reschedule last week, and I appreciate you rescheduling with me and being on here today. It's just wonderful having you. It's good to see your face and being able to talk to you again. And for those of you that don't know that you weren't in December, Leslie was actually on her panel, and she didn't get to talk very much. So I was like, Leslie, why don't you come on Tea with Brittany Lee and say all the things you wanted to say on the panel in December? But yeah, I just thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you guys for all attending. If you have any questions or you need anything from VRM, you can always email us, help@vrmgr.com. We're happy to help in any way that we can, and we hope that you guys got a lot out of today. So, all right, guys, thanks. We'll see you at the next tea time. Bye.
Okay.